Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who is on a 7-day state visit to India, will be meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. The Prime Minister Trudeau will be accorded a ceremonial welcome at the forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan. Both Prime Ministers will then hold bilateral talks on a range of issues, including defence, trade and investment, counter-terror cooperation and tackling climate change. They are later expected to sign agreements to boost ties. Just hours before the meeting, Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweeted saying that he was looking forward to his meeting with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Now, will the recent controversy over a dinner invite to Khalistan terrorist Jaspal Atwal overshadow the two prime ministers' meet? Well, Atwal, a Khalistan terrorist, was invited to an official event organized by the Canadian government in Mumbai. Jaspal Atwal was convicted for trying to kill an Indian minister in Canada in 1986. The photograph of Atwal with Trudeau's wife has sparked a controversy and caused huge embarrassment to the Canadian government. Prime Minister Trudeau has assured that action will be taken against the person responsible for inviting Atwal.
Never should have received an invitation, and as soon as we found out, we rescinded the invitation immediately. The Member of Parliament who included this individual has and will assume full responsibility for his actions.
Now, Trudeau's government has time and again accused of backing those campaigning for separate Khalistan. Jaspal Atwal is a convict and he once attacked Canadian politician Ujjal Dosanjh. Now, Ujjal Dosanjh survived the attack and went on to become the Premier of British Columbia. He has some advice for Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his government.
Well, I think that it encourages them indirectly by appearing at their events, by appearing on their stages, by appearing in parades where some of the mass murderers like Talwinder Parmar, or the murderer of Air India, who bombed Air India, where their portraits are glorified. So I believe that in fact, it's all right for the Prime Minister of Canada to say, we believe in the unity of India and integrity of India, and that we won't support Khalistan. But what really needs to be done, and where I think Indian politicians have been absolutely inept, has been at the framing of the question. The question ought not to be framed by politicians like, Mr. Trudeau, do something about these people in Canada. That's not the issue, because Canada would simply say to you, we are a free country. People are free to express their views. So is India, I point out to everybody. In India, we're free to express our views as well. So the question is not whether they express their views and where. The question is whether the government, cabinet ministers, the Prime Minister, and other politicians in this country of all major political parties associate themselves with the Khalistanis in their functions, in their parades, when they parade the floats with pictures of martyrs, so-called martyrs, like the mass murderer of Air India, Talwinder Parmar, and other militants who've been violent. When they parade those posters in those parades openly and shout Khalistan slogans and glorify those murderers, it is then that those politicians attend those functions, they adorn those stages. That is what's wrong. If the politicians must cease and desist from doing that. If they do that, Khalistan problem in Canada would disappear.